All right. You're good to go, Mario.
Okay, that's it. All right. Okay, this meeting is now in order. Welcome to the Coral Gables Toastmasters. My name is Mario Litano, your Sergeant at Arms tonight. I'm very excited about this meeting, and I'm looking forward to it. And so before we begin, let me begin with a few of our meeting guidelines and our club mission. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Coral Gables Toastmasters virtual meeting guidelines. All speakers and functionaries, please rename by clicking your name and include your role and your first and last name. Mute your audio during the speeches. Use reaction buttons for virtual reactions. Send private messages to the speakers for feedback if you wish. You may unmute during the introduction, the closing remarks, or words presentations. Former members and Toastmasters from other clubs may take on functionary roles, may be voted for the best table topics or best evaluator. Other guests can participate in the table topics, but cannot be voted on for best table topics. All functionary roles and speaking roles will be granted co-host privileges to share the screen if needed. Our meeting media statement, any and all images and video recordings taken during this meeting will be used expressly for Toastmaster related purposes only and not for commercial gain. And now I will begin the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And now I will pass it on to our Vice President of Education, I believe, Brian DeSimone.
Excellent job, Mario. Thank you so much for kicking us off this evening. And that is right. Our president, Lucas Calafell, could not attend. So I, your VP of Education, will step in the role and kick this meeting off. As you can see, we have quite a full house tonight. It's going to be a good one. We're going to have fun with it. Looking forward to it. Just to kind of throw a wrench in, since we do have a little less attendance than usual, why don't we do something a little different? Let's go around and I'll start us off. This came to me just now, but let's go ahead and just kind of introduce ourselves, how long we've been Toastmasters, and something that you are looking forward to this weekend, just something quick and just to kind of get everyone warmed up for this evening. So my name is Brian DeSimone. I have been a member coming up on 3 years, and I am looking forward to the weekend just to kind of relax, take it easy. Work's been pretty rough. Just want to take a day just to decompress, recalibrate, and set some new goals for Toastmasters. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Why don't we kick it to Catherine?
I'm Catherine Stewart. This is my second year of Toastmasters. And this weekend, I'm looking forward to my boyfriend's parents are coming to town to visit, and they'll be staying with us for 10 days. So I'm looking forward to not doing any laundry or cooking because his mom will do it all. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Catherine. Mario, how about yourself?
Hi, Mario Litano. This is my first year of Toastmasters. I believe I joined in April of last year, so I'm almost there at the full year. And this weekend, I'm looking forward to just being at home because these past several weekends and then the next weekends after that, I have stuff going on all the time with the scouting that I do and other things, you know, that I do with my friends. And so I just want to be home. I'm probably going to grill in my backyard and just chill.
Excellent. Excellent. Always a good time. Barbecuing. Can't go wrong with it. Daria.
My name's Daria McCook, and I have been a member for 4 months, maybe now. For the weekend, I hopefully will be able to find a way to send bulletproof vests to the city where one of my best friends is at. Hopefully that works out.
Absolutely, definitely. I know you have ties to Ukraine, and obviously everything's going on there is absolutely tragic. So yeah, after the meeting, if you want, any way that you can share that we can help, please share that, and we'll look to get that out and spread the word within the club. Felix.
Good evening, everyone. Brian, you took the words from my mouth. I was going to say the same thing, Dario. If there's any way that we could help, please let us know. Glad to see what we can do, and even organizations that we can donate to that are reliable organizations that you would trust. Please let me know. We are back to work, full force. Everybody's back to work, so it's glad to see faces of people that I haven't seen in over 2 years, and I'm looking forward to continuing that. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the virus stays in check and things are going to go back to not only a new normal, but somewhat of the old normal that we were all used to. This weekend, I'll be flying up to Boston to visit some friends, and I'm looking forward to that. It's a great town, and I go up there quite a lot. And again, I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Glad to hear. And absolutely what I just said, Felix, the kind of going back to a little bit of the old normal. I think we're all looking forward to that. So 100%, and enjoy your trip to Boston. Sounds like a good time. All right. Since we don't have any guests this evening, there is no need for guest introductions. So I will go ahead and kick it to our Toastmaster of the evening, Miss Catherine Stewart. Catherine, please take it away. The meeting is yours.
Great. Welcome, everyone. Even without headline news, our lives are filled with challenges, from family pressures to work projects. And that's why it's so important to have balance, from finding humor during a stressful work situation to being able just to poke fun and laugh at ourselves. For that, laughter can be the best medicine. Tonight is all about our playful sides. The doctor is in. I'm a reindeer doctor because why not tonight? And the doctor has prescribed us all 2 liters of laughs and 50 milligrams of smiles. Now, laughing is contagious, but don't worry, the only side effects are sore cheeks. If you haven't picked a video filter, we encourage you to do so if you're able to. They've been tipping us for 2 years, and they're always this do not touch button for serious work meetings, and now is the time to let loose and to finally use them. If anyone does have a speech tonight that's more, or a table topic subject either, that's more somber in tone, feel free to mute the playfulness for that. And now we will kick things off with our first speaker. Oh, no, sorry. First, we'll introduce the roles. So first we'll go with timer, and that will be Brian tonight.
Excellent. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Tonight, I will be serving as the timer for the meeting. Essentially, I will be timing all the speaking roles, all speaking portions of this meeting. Tonight, we have 1 5 to 7 minute speech. So at the 5-minute mark, I will go ahead and get my green background ready. Right here at the 6-minute mark, yellow. And at the 7-minute mark, I will turn red. And at 7 minutes and 30 seconds, I will go back to black here to signify that the time is up. Tonight for table topics, 1 minute green, 1 minute 30 yellow, 2 minutes red. And at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will go back to my black filter here. And evaluations, we will have 1 evaluation. That will be 2 minutes green, 2 minutes, 30 seconds yellow, 3 minutes red. And once again, at 3 minutes and 30 seconds, we have that grace period. I will go back to black. I will also be serving as the grammarian / counter tonight. I'm sorry, not counter, excuse me. Grammarian tonight. Our word tonight will be to mitigate, to make less severe, serious, or painful. It is a verb. A sentence. He wanted to mitigate misery in the world. So mitigate will be our word of the evening tonight. And I will pass it back to our Toastmaster to introduce our remaining functionary.
Thanks. Next up, we have the counter, and tonight that will be covered by Daria.
Good evening, everyone. I signed up to be our counter at moments before we started. So I am not prepared to talk about what the counter is, but I will be listening for all ahs, ams, buts, repetitive words, or words that are just fillers, and note them and let you all know what they were at the end of the night. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Daria. And that was perfectly said, clear and concise with, I know you had little notice before, so thank you. Our next role is grammarian, which, Brian, do we want to go over the gist of this one?
Absolutely, yeah. Sorry, I jumped into it. The word of the day. I should have waited for that. Sorry, I just jumped right in. But yeah, tonight I will serve as the grammarian as well. I just introduced the word of the day, but I'll also be looking out for words or phrases that either I think are very good, excellent, or maybe could use a little work. I'll kind of jot those down and give a report at the end of the meeting, just for everyone's education. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
And then next we have vote counter, which we probably don't need too much tonight unless we want to do it for table topics, then I don't mind just doing it.
That's what that works.
Okay, great. So we're all members of clubs. We've done this multiple times. So for table topics, that will be our only session tonight with multiple speakers. So feel free to send me your top vote for table topics in a personal message. And that wraps up our roles. So thank you everyone for winging it tonight a little bit. I appreciate our dynamic group. And I think this definitely goes to our speech where sometimes we just can't take ourselves too seriously and you just have to go with the flow and find the sense of humor. And to kick things off with our first speaker and only speaker of the evening is Daria, who will be presenting her speech tonight titled Why the Road to Hell is Paved with Good Intentions. Please take it away, Daria.
Good evening, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. 2 weeks ago, I signed up to give an uplifting speech that would hopefully shine even dimly, next to two seasoned, amazing Toastmasters. I don't know if it's luck or not, but they are not here. So the spotlight is on me tonight. And I apologize for not giving an uplifting speech, but one of a more somber note. Let me explain why the road to hell is paved with good intentions. This phrase was brought to me by a good dear friend, Olia, who happens to be my late grandmother's goddaughter. This phrase came to light when I explained to her why I was no longer with the United Nations Association. Olia used to go to events that I held as chapter president and was always interested in speaking on topics of the subject matter we would discuss at our events. I was with United Nations Associations for 6 years as a board member, 2 years as president, and raised and donated $36,000 to the UNHCR Adopt a Future campaign that was in hopes to build a school for refugees in Kenya. Over the 6 years, unfortunately, I saw other chapter members be deceitful and less honest, and I came in as president to do audits and make sure everything was done right. That didn't ruin my experience with UNA. The straw that broke my camel's back was when we donated the $36,000 and I couldn't find any transparency from the donation center at United Nations Foundation all the way to the UNHCR office in Geneva, those that looked directly over the Adopt a Future campaign. I couldn't be with a group that I no longer trusted, even though everyone I've met through UNA and the UN have always been kind-hearted and seem to genuinely want to better the world. But we are all people and we are not flawless. So sometimes those great intentions don't always lead to great actions. On a larger scale, I believe that everyone will agree that nuclear weapons are bad. Doves and olive branches are symbols of peace. But how practical are they at upholding peace? In the beginning of 1994, Ukraine had the third largest stockpile of nuclear weapons in the world, around 3,000. And under the premise of good intentions, believing that giving up her arms to an assured recognition of independence, sovereignty, promises of refrained use of force, threats, or nuclear weapons, Ukraine gave up her nuclear arms for a more peaceful world. This was all overseen by the US, the UK, and Russia. For 8 years, this Budapest Memorandum has been completely ignored. And one of the signatories is the perpetrator of the terrible actions. First, Ukraine lost Crimea, and then parts of Eastern Ukraine. And now, Ukraine is fighting for the rest of her land and people's autonomy. What have these intentions brought Ukraine? Nothing but hell. My friends and family are fighting these flames of good intentions as we speak, as we sit here. We who are free from the turmoils of war on our land are also able to take actions that either fan, fuel, or extinguish flames of good or bad intentions. Tonight, I'm just asking for everyone to think about their actions, because I am in no position to lecture anyone on what to do or their choices, nor their purchases, nor who or what they should vote for. All I would like for everyone to do is to simply think about the logistic and practical after effects of all of these actions that you hope that will be in your best intentions going forward in any circumstance. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Great job, Daria. We all know this is a topic, like Brian said, that hits close to home for you. So we really appreciate hearing from you on it. And I know all of our hearts are reaching out and thoughts are with everyone. So thank you for that tonight. Next up is our table topics. So I will now hand it over. Yes, sorry, it just seemed extra short, so I had to double check. I will hand it over now to Mario.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The purpose of the table topics is to facilitate the table topics part of the meeting, where we work on our impromptu speaking skills, where we practice organizing and expressing our thoughts in a short 1 to 2 minute speech. This is also an opportunity for any members who are not in a speaking role to speak, and for guests, normally I would call on a guest as well. And so on today's topic of laughter is the best medicine. Okay. And to use the word of the day, there's no way that you will be able to mitigate being called upon, because there's only 4 people here. And so hold on, with the slideshow. Okay, so share screen. Okay, so that's my nice front, the front page of my PowerPoint. Okay, if you had to tell a joke or tell a funny story to break the ice, what would you say? And for this one, I'm gonna call on Mr. Brian DeSimone.
Funny? Funny how? Am I a clown to you? The classic Goodfellas scene. Joe Pesci. Funny enough, this character, me and him actually share the same last name, which is not something that I'm proud of. But if I had to tell a joke or a funny story to break the ice, what would I say? That's something I always try to do. I think humor and laughter is something that we often, or at least myself, I often go to break the ice. That's how I am most comfortable. I don't like to approach any situation serious or at least to lead with that. I think humor does bring us together. Humor, a lot of times when things are happening in life that we can't control, it's what better than humor? So what would I say? It's tough. It's tough. Every situation's different. Whatever, I like to just kind of keep it situational. So whatever is at that moment, whatever's present in that moment, maybe I'll point out an observation, or just pull off something like an impersonation of a movie that I've seen before, if that fits. Not, I wish I had something to go to, something that maybe I'll work on that now that I have this. What story would I go to? I think I should get something in my back pocket. So not my best answer here, but obviously it's a great question, and one for me to continue to ponder, especially in times like we're going through now. It's always good to kind of have something ready to go to break that ice. So thank you, Mario, for that excellent question. And for the first time in a long time, kind of stumped me a little bit on the table topic. So excellent job, sir. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, that is a hard question. I'm the worst at telling jokes. I don't know what I would say either, and it's not intentional to call you on, despite your Italian last name. But anyways, on to the next one. You still had a great answer. You danced around it perfectly. And the next one, very simple. What is your favorite funny movie? And I'm gonna call on Felix.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. What is my favorite funny movie? I think it's a toss-up between Young Frankenstein, Beetlejuice, and Elf. Elf is more of a seasonal movie where I sit around the TV with the kids and the grandkids, and we all know every line by memory. We know what's going to happen, and we still love to watch it. Christmas in, Christmas out, every year. So that's a pretty good tradition. But I'm a big Mel Brooks fan, and I love Young Frankenstein. Every bit of that movie, the fact that it's in black and white, the funny stories, and the way that the characters interact with each other, and the wordplay is hilarious. And likewise, Beetlejuice is another movie, for whatever reason, I can't stop watching it. I've watched it 100 times. Every time I see it on cable, I have to watch the movie. So those three would be my top favorite movie. If I had to narrow it down to mitigate your answer, I would say Elf. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Felix. Yeah, that's a great answer. I think out of those three movies, I'd probably choose Elf. I think that one is really funny. Although I do love Beetlejuice, but Beetlejuice for me is more of a, I don't know, it's more like a fascinating movie for me. It's because it's in the 80s and it's kind of strange and interesting, but Elf is a lot funnier. And Young Frankenstein, honestly, I don't know if I saw it, maybe like when I was young or a long time ago, but I should probably watch that now. Now it's gonna be on my radar. Okay. Does your current car have a name? What is it? If not, what would it be? Catherine Stewart.
My current car It doesn't really have a name. I've never given my names, any of my cars, any names. I think mostly because most of my life, my cars weren't even second-hand cars, they were third-hand cars. So I didn't have a lot of faith that they would last long enough for me to get attached to even name them. But this one I have now, and I got it in grad school. I'm the first owner, which is really moving up in the world. It's a Nissan Sentra, and sometimes I just call it the Sentra. So I kind of default to the model name. They kind of just have generic names, which even as a kid, I did that. Like I didn't have a cute name for my blanket or teddy bear. They were just the name of the noun that they were. So not a lot of creativity there. If it had a name, it would have to be something that represented having, I think, some fortitude, because I've definitely hit the curve several times in it. There's some blind spots. Things are tricky in Miami. Then this past summer, I haven't been in an accident in a long time, and I did just get this car, and I got out and I thought it was gonna be so bad because their bumper was on the street, like not even attached. I got out imagining mine was gonna be horrible in the front, and then it looked like maybe a tennis ball just kind of hit it. So it really held up. So I think it would have to be maybe just fortitude or endurance, and maybe something cuter like Ellie for endurance. There we go. Now it has a name. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Toastmaster Catherine Stewart. Yeah, that's. Let me give you a suggestion. How about Invincible? That sounds like an invincible car. Yeah, that sounds like you've had that car. I wonder how many miles it has. One of the things that I typically, well, not typically do, but the last 2 cars that I've had is I don't lease them anymore, and I don't keep them around for just 5 or 6 years. I keep the cars for about 10 years, and then try to get as much as my money back from them, and really take care of it. And when I do buy a car, what I do is I try to get you know how the cars change every 6 years or every 8 years, like right when it changes, I buy a car, and that way it's on the road and doesn't look like outdated, you know, for 10 years. So anyways, would you rather be the funniest or the smartest person in the room? Why? And this is for Daria.
I don't think I'm too funny, but I would rather be the funniest person in the room so that I can learn from the smartest person from the room. It would be awesome to be the smartest person in the room. I think the more you know, or the smarter you are, the more you know that there's so much more to learn. And I love learning from people. I love learning about their passions, about things that motivate them, that move them, and that even if we have like-minded interests or hobbies, what do they get out, or their point of view or their perspective, and how they do things? Because it doesn't matter if you do something for a very long time, right? I've been teaching swimming for 25 years. And if I met another swimming instructor, I would ask them, oh, how do you teach this? Or how do you do that? I like to look up videos and see how people do different things, because there's always different ways to learn and different ways to do things. I'm dyslexic, and so I definitely learn a different way. And so I know that others do too. And I love to learn from those smart people. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, Table Talk Master. I said that wrong.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
Mario.
Thank you, Toastmaster Daria. I think that's what I would answer. I think if I was the smartest person in the room, that would mean that I'm in the wrong room. So yeah, that wraps it up for today's table topics. Thank you so much. Great responses from all the participants.
Great, thanks, Mario. Those were some very fun questions. I hope the theme helped you out, and I think we all had a good time answering them and loved hearing everyone's answers. Everyone did qualify with their time, so please send me a private message and I will collect the votes for this round. And next up, we have the general evaluator, but I think I can just go ahead and I can just kind of do this piece. Okay, on the fly here as a mess sprout. Oh, and Daria, I love the mustache. Very good. Very subtle. Okay, so next up, we have our evaluation piece of the meeting. Our evaluator for Daria's speech tonight will be Felix.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. This is my first evaluation. And although our topic tonight is very lighthearted, the topic of our meeting, I am honored to be able to evaluate your speech, Daria, because we can't ignore what is happening around us. And despite wanting to be lighthearted, there is the tragedy that is on our TV every day and on the radio, and we just can't ignore that. I thought the way you presented your speech was very heartfelt, very, very touching. There's a cadence and pitch to your voice that to me makes it look like you're a very experienced speaker. It just was almost like a song, the way that you presented, that you maintained a very proper cadence and speech. The moment you mentioned the straw that broke the camel's back, again, the phrasing and the way you said that, I thought really punctuated the feeling of what you were trying to get across. You have certain facial expressions that your eyes go wide open when you want to hit a point home. And I think that helps to even further communicate the point that you want to make. The phrase, why is the road to pave, why is the road to hell paved with good intentions, is one of my favorite phrases. And I use that all the time at work, sometimes more lighthearted, other times much more serious. So I think your topic, your title was right on point. Also, that the way that you ask a question, I think you said, why do I mean when I say the road to hell is paved with good intentions? And then you have a pause. And I don't know about everyone else, but as for me, we were waiting to see what you were going to say. So your speech was able to draw us in and capture us. I really don't know what to say as far as some type of constructive criticism or something that you could work on. The only thing that I found slightly distracting was it appeared that you had notes to the right-hand side that you kept looking down on, but it was just very minor. I'm basically saying that to say something because I thought it was very well done. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Great job, Felix, and congratulations on your first evaluation feedback. I could have sworn you'd done one by now because you're always such a pro, and it was a great job tonight. So thank you. And with that, I feel like we're on Toastmasters Cliff Note version because now we're all ready to our general evaluator wrap up. I think tonight everyone did a good job. We've had some skeleton crew meetings before, but I think this one has set a new record. So I really appreciate everyone showing up tonight, having fun with the theme. Daria, we really appreciated your speech tonight. Like we said earlier, and you guys did a great job. Felix, thank you again for your first evaluation speech. And thank you again for filling this role. This and table topics, I really appreciate you and Mario stepping up tonight because these were two of the harder to fill. So thanks you guys. They are very essential to our meeting tonight. And I think we did a great job. We had a challenge. We met our goal today and we had some fun with it. And I think that's really just sums up what tonight's theme is about. And I think, Brian, do we go into, do I have my closing remarks right now or votes?
Your Toastmaster closing remark?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, let's do the functionary reports.
Oh, yes, that's right. Okay. So functionary reports, the first one is timer, which we've kind of covered throughout the meeting. And everyone.
Yeah, I could just say everyone, every aspect, everyone qualified, so we're good to go there.
Cool. Next up, we have odd counter. So Daria, I'll hand it to you.
Everyone is doing much better. We're all progressing in our ahs and ums. Catherine, you had 2 ums, 2 ahs, 1 repetitive and 2 I think, 2 repetitive I's. Brian, you had 1 2 ahs. That's it. Mario, you had 2 ums, 4 ahs, 1 repetitive and 1 I think, 2 I's, repetitive I's. Felix, you are very good at when you're doing your speech. I think you get caught off guard. Your evaluation was awesome. Thank you so much. You had 2 ahs, 1 I think, extra very, repetitive Harry, and a like. So good job, everyone. Much better numbers than when I first started. I guess to Brian to give me my ahs.
Absolutely. Yeah, Daria, phenomenal job on your speech. I only counted 1 ah. So excellent job. Took your time with it and very professional. So excellent job speaking. And we're looking forward to see future speeches as always.
Great. So next up, we have grammarian.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. For my grammarian report, I'll start off with the word of the day. We had mitigate. Mario got it in there 1 time. Felix also got it in there 1 time. For phrases throughout the meeting, Daria, you said doves and olive branches are symbols of peace, but how practical are they? I think that was such a crucial sentence in your speech because it is true, exactly right. How practical is that? We use it as a symbol, but what's the actual practical way of pursuing and achieving peace is it's the question. So great job using that phrase there. And Catherine, to wrap us up, you said the Toastmasters Cliff Notes version, 100%. Definitely nailed the theme of the meeting there with that. This is the Cliff Notes version of Toastmasters, but I think we're overall doing a great job handling it. Like you said, we have a challenge, and this is what Toastmasters is all about: presenting with a challenge, overcoming. And I couldn't have been prouder of this group coming together and getting it done. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. And now I'll take off my general evaluator hat and I will put on my Toastmaster / doctor hat. This is really working out well for me. This was unplanned, but here we go. So I hope tonight everyone enjoyed this evening's dose of laughter and smiles. I know I especially did. And now for best results, please continue to enjoy laughing at least once a day. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, but a smile a day keeps the gloom away. And I'll leave everyone with that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Catherine. Phenomenal job tonight. Gotta say, I think, obviously timing tonight started right at 7:05. Not a particularly big group, but an effective group. I think we covered exactly what Toastmasters is tonight. We got a planned speech, phenomenal speech from Daria. Felix with his first evaluation, just an absolute pro. No issues there, just coming in and really giving an effective evaluation. And Mario, as always, I'm really bummed out that you stumped me on that question because I love the questions you asked, and even referencing Goodfellas, a movie that I grew up watching. So I think I wanted to do a better job. I let my Goodfellas, I let the picture got to me. It flustered me, but excellent job. Great job, everyone, tonight. Quick club business, just to cover our bases here. A reminder, April 2nd, it's a Saturday. We're looking to do our scheduled club anniversary event. I believe, I'm looking at the email here, March 11th. We'd like to know by March 11th if you can RSVP for that. I think we're trying to do, we haven't got a specific venue, but maybe a park or, kind of an outdoor restaurant, but we will shore that up. But the day will be April 2nd is what we're doing. So that's all I have for club business. I will reach out to Lucas to email the group for more with, oh, and also the dues, membership dues are now open for the next 6 months, going into it was September 30th is from April to September 30th is the next due cycle. So those are open to get those paid. And that's all it is for club business. I guess we could I'll go ahead and end the meeting now. If anyone has any objections, I'll go ahead and stop the recording thank you, Daria. I will do that. Let me stop the recording and we'll take our picture.
And we have our table topics winner.
Oh, well, before I stop the recording, Catherine, let's announce our winner tonight. Thank you so much.
Tonight's winner is Felix. Great job, Felix. I think we all now want to go watch Elf and Young Frankenstein.
Some really great movies that I was like, oh man, those are my favorite movies.
Yeah, I told Mario I dated myself calling out that movie, but it is intentionally in black and white. It wasn't original. It's not one of the era black and white. It was intentionally made. in black and white.
Exactly.